Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another podcast of Building Empires Network. You have your host, Andrea Cruz and Miss Christina Franco. And today we have a very, very, very special guest, Mr. Orion.
What's going on, my friends? Miss Andrea, Miss Franco, how are you? Thank you for having me today.
Good.
Appreciate everything. Love what you ladies are doing. Definitely boss babes in the industry for sure.
Thank
That.
you. And one of the things that Orion, I mean, he used to work with Grant Cardone. So, you know, if you guys know who Grant Cardone is, he's like the beast of sales, of anything negotiation. So we're excited to have him on here because he's going to share some of that stuff with us. You know,
Absolutely.
So tell us.
What would you like to know? I mean, yeah, I did definitely work for Grant Cardone. Definitely learned a lot working there. Working there really leveled up my game, because before that, I mean, I was in sales jobs, but I didn't really know that it was an art or it was a skill set. So going there really taught me a lot about, like, this is a skill set, and skills gets the deals. The better you get at something, the better you're going to be at it. And then ultimately in the industry where I was getting deals, real estate. So it's definitely helped us out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how did you get started, Orion?
In wholesaling real estate, in real estate
in general.
I think it all started with sales, to be honest with you, because you're always dealing with people, communication, dealing with people. So it's like you're in the people business. So no matter what industry you're in, you're always going to be dealing with people. So it's really about the people business, communication. But I got out of the military. And when I got out of the military, I was looking for an opportunity. And I was on Craigslist, my friends. And Craigslist had an opportunity for a insurance agent. I walked into that opportunity, and they kind of give me an insight that this is sales, where commission, you know, it's your commission based. So you got to really go out there and improve yourself in a way, and go out and go get it. So at that time, it was just cold calling and door knocking. So I did a lot of that, but I didn't really have any skill sets. And that's when I really got into like personal development, books, mentorships, audios, YouTube, whatnot. Then I came across Grant Cardone, and I was really attracted to his style. He's kind of like brash, in your face, aggressive, you know, 10x lifestyle, commit, figure it all out later, you know, taking massive action, kind of resonated with my personality. And then next thing you know, I learned that he had a TV show. He was having a TV show. So I decided, like, you know what, I'm going all in on this. I'm going to be on that TV show. So I sent in a selfie video every day for like 30 days to his office. And they probably thought I was crazy. But at the end of the night, I got there.
Everybody's going to start doing that now.
Selfie videos, my friends. You should be saying, I mean, in any industry, for sure. If you're talking to clients over the telephone, you got to put a face to the pictures or to the voice. So sending selfie videos is definitely an incentive for you to get in front of your customers and build value. But I sent in a selfie video every day, got their attention, and then they offered me to be on the television show. So I went down to Miami. I got to be on his TV show.
Wow, that is nice.
So it was like a job interview. So I got an opportunity to be on there. I didn't win. I came in third place. I got fired. It was like one of those like the Donald Trump show.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? What is it, The Apprentice or something like that?
The Apprentice, yeah.
So you went in there, you did a lot of tasks, you improved your sales skills, sell this water, like working out and all this stuff, right? Mentally, physically, emotionally, seeing if you can get past it. But I was on the TV show and I came in third place. I got fired, left. But then as I was taking the Uber back to the airport, something inside of me says, no, Orion, go back. Go back. Now I'm getting goosebumps because this is what happened. I went back and I was so nervous. I had no money in my bank account. And I literally just walked up into his office and just said, "Where's Grant? Where's Grant? Where's Grant?" All the film crew came in my face. They're thinking like this is entertainment or something. I'm like, no, this is not entertainment. This is my life. I was like crying and everything. I was like, I need this opportunity. Where's Grant? Where's Grant? Where's Grant? The film's in my face. I'm like, they're thinking it's like entertainment, but I'm like, no, this is my life.
I'm surprised they didn't call you from Univision. Great for the novelas.
Right?
No, that's good. No, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Takes a lot of dedication to do that.
I could see you do that though. I could really see you do that, because I told Jesus when I had gotten, you know, your Facebook alert thing, and I said, you know what, I want to interview Orion. I just feel you have that fire. You spit that fire, and I will always say that in a positive way, in a productive way. You just have that. You know,
Christina.
Yeah,
I feel it inside of me. There's a lot of passion involved because, you know, everybody goes through experiences. Then you see other people trying to be in the same like situation maybe you're in, or leveling up in their life, and then like spitting out what's inside of you to them, and they can feel that synergy or the energy. They can just like transfer the energy, and they can level up in their life. So it's a good feeling. You can be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. But back to the little story about Grant. When I was in his office, they gave me a shot to talk to him. They're like, all right, Orion, we'll give you a shot to talk to him. So they brought me back to his office. I was talking to him. It was like all his crew was in there. The film was in there. So I was like just this little guy. I was like really flaco back then. I had like no hair.
It's me,
Like,
flaco.
I was like a little Chinaman, you know what I mean? Right?
Oh my God, it's funny.
And basically he said, all right, kid, I'll give you a shot. And he said, book me 3 appointments. And it was a Sunday. And we're selling a sales training. It was a Sunday. So I was calling car dealerships. Car dealerships aren't even really open on Sunday. So I thought this was a scam. Like I had no opportunity. But at the end of the night, I got on the phones and I literally just stayed on the phones for like 8 hours. And I booked him 11 appointments. And then went back to Chicago. 2 weeks later, they called me and said, all right, Orion, we're going to give you a shot. So I moved to Miami and I got to work for him for about 1.5 years.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I think that's what I'm gonna do for my interviews. Like, go give me some appointments.
Thanks
for that, Orion.
Yeah.
I love that.
See what it takes, whatever it takes, right?
Because I think you'll know who you're really. See if you can do that for me.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
But one thing I had to fight through is fear, right? Because like the fear of like going to the airport and coming back when I just got fired, like people are looking down upon you, like you didn't win.
Right.
You're like, you know what I mean? So you're having a little fear, anxiety inside you. But if you listen to Bob Proctor and some of these personal development guys, they always talk about there's a terror barrier. To get to the next level, you got to fight through that terror barrier because no matter where there's going to be some resistance.
Right.
There's always going to be some resistance, and what you resist will always persist in your life. So you got to fight through that resistance. And once you fight through that resistance, then you got to the next level, and there's always going to be some kind of terror barrier to get to the next level.
You pretty much you're gonna have to fight the whole time.
For sure.
But I think that's what creates you to become better.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Courage.
No, I totally agree with that. That's how it is. You're never gonna like go through a certain level of life. Like, okay, I'm here now. I get to like just chill. Like it's always, you have to always be a student, keep learning.
Absolutely. When you're not growing, you're dying. Like if you think you know it all, you probably don't know any. So you got to keep learning, leveling up in your relationships, go to these events, seek out a mentorship, turn drive time into audio time. Like learn, my friends. If you're not growing, you're dying.
You have you're coming up with a mentorship, right? Or is it a coaching? What is it?
Yeah, I'm definitely coming out with a course, and I know I have some mentees right now, but mentorship is definitely a route I'm going. I mean, I have the experience in what I do, right? And then I have experience of having mentors that taught me a lot. So I think I can transfer that energy to other people and help them win. You know what I mean?
We're going to have a pack of Orions out there.
Let's go. Pack of Orions.
The wolf of real estate.
That's a beautiful day.
That's going to be the good course right there. The wolves of real estate. I just know that you could transfer that energy because you put everybody in a positive mode. I mean, when I first met you, you were like all upbeat and going and and I was like, damn, this guy's hyper.
That's how salespeople are.
Yeah. And he was just ready for like the next thing. I was like, this dude's twitching. Like,
is
shit.
it hyper?
And then that's what you say like about me. You're like, you never sit still.
You never sit still. What was that, Orion?
Is it hyper or is it enthusiasm?
It's enthusiasm. There you go.
Check the word enthusiasm.
There you go.
If you look up the Greek ethos for enthusiasm, it comes from a Greek ethos meaning filled with God. That's what enthusiasm means. So what is filled with God mean to you? I tell my guys all the time at the office, you got to be enthusiastic, a bottled up enthusiasm. You got to be filled with God, like a zest for life. Like you have an opportunity right now. You're not going to work. You're going to your opportunity every day. So have that like zest for life, like filled with God, whatever God means to you, my friend. So that's enthusiasm. So maybe it comes off as hyper though.
Well, I mean, whatever it is
the ones that don't know, but now that you know, now that you know,
it's enthusiasm.
It's enthusiasm.
Every time you see me.
Yeah. So where were you raised? Where did you come up from?
Like I was telling you earlier, I was born in my mom's womb.
Yeah.
That was in Iowa. I lived there for 8 years, and then just a mediocre life. Really, my dad was a teacher. My mom is an immigrant from Vietnam. So
you are Vietnamese.
Yes, that's why he said the little Chinaman.
Little Chinaman. Little bald flaco Chinaman.
Because you look well.
No. No, actually, when I met him, I really thought he was Hispanic, and he was like, "I don't speak Spanish." Like,
yeah, that's what I don't know what I thought.
You'll pick it up, but then it goes everywhere. So it's Vietnamese, right? But a lot of Vietnamese,
my dad's
Vietnamese individuals, they do look more. They have a Hispanic look to them.
And I'm not even. Vietnamese.
You're not even Vietnamese.
People are like, you look white and Vietnamese. I'm like, I'm neither of them.
And then you were telling me you moved to Chicago, right?
Yeah, I grew up in 8 years of my life was born in Iowa, and then moved to Illinois. But I grew up in Illinois, lived in Chicago, Springfield. But then then my adult life, I joined the military like 22 years old. And when I got out of the military, I was kind of like a rolling stone, moving place to place to place to place to try to find success. When I didn't know success is right here, already where you're at right now. It's just on the inside of you, my friends.
Right.
So yeah, I figured that out. And then sales job, and then got to work from Grant. And after Grant, did the entrepreneurship thing.
Nice.
It was about 4 years of failure, but it wasn't failure because you're learning during the way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what were your takeaways from working with Grant that you are now using in your business?
Show up. Definitely, that's one characteristic you have to have as a successful person, business leader, salesperson, is showing up. He would always say 90% is just showing up, because if you didn't show up, those opportunities is going to go to somebody else. So 90% is just showing up.
Right.
Then definitely the sales skills of just learning. He would always say the first rule of selling is agreement. So always get an agreement with your customers, so you can like build that reality or that communication line with them. And then once people start communicating with you, you can start finding out the situation that they're in, so the problems or challenges that they're in, and ultimately what you are as a consultant or a salesperson is providing a solution. Even in real estate, if you're a listing agent, you're listing a property for the customer, they're going through a situation where they're selling their house, so you got to find out why they're selling their house so you can provide a solution to them. Same thing with wholesale and real estate. You're talking to a lot of distressed people. People are going through probate, divorce. People are going through financial like illiteracy type situations. You got to find out that why, and the only way you can do that is build a communication line with them, get in agreement with them. So you got to build strong communication with people so you can find out what's going on, so you can provide the solution to them.
Totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, for sure. And then taking massive action. Like he would always say, there's 4 types of action. There's no action, there's retreat, average action, and massive action. You got to take the massive action. Obviously, you hear from all the gurus, take the massive action. But a lot of the action that we take is retreating, where maybe we have a little resistance. So that resistance gives us fear, gives us anxiety, gives us some of these negative things inside of us that makes us retreat. Especially if you're new to this, you're making phone calls and you get the rejection after rejection after rejection after rejection. And then your mindset starts telling you, this isn't for me. This is crazy. What am I doing? And then you retreat from the goal. So you got to have an end goal in mind and continue pressing forward to that, towards that prize. So a lot of people retreat. And then we got average action. That's 9 to 5 mentality. I mean, that's like the social norm, 9 to 5, go to college, pay off your student loans type, right? That's average action. We got to get away from that. We got to get in the mindset of taking massive action. Massive action. What he would call 10x. 10x, my friends.
20x it.
We're
10. Why
at
stop at 10? No, I totally agree. And honestly, if you're going to make it in this, just any industry, you have to be an action taker, because there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to run into something and you're like, oh, damn, this is where it stops. Like, no, you got to take action. Keep going through that resistance, because, it's kind of like Christina's situation yesterday, that's very unfortunate. But, it's like, hey, now you have to move on and do what you have to do next. So.
Yeah. And that was crazy. I mean, she's talking about the fire. So for those of you that didn't know, some individual just went and took a
Molotov cocktail.
A Mazel Tov.
What is that?
Mazel Tov.
It's like a bottle with alcohol in it, and then light the fire, and they throw it, and there's an explosion of fire.
Yeah. So that's what they did into my building. And so when they did that, it caught the entire building on fire. And so it was so bad. There was fire departments from everywhere. It was so sad to see them, just on the floor, taking off their attire, their uniforms. I mean, it was a lot. They were there from 5 a.m. all the way till, maybe like 4:35 in the afternoon.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was really sad. And everybody keeps saying, how are you holding up? The thing is that I have to be the foundation for everything that I have. I have a lot of employees. Like I told Orion and Andrea earlier, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I have employees, I'm a businesswoman. So I have to be the foundation of everything. And if I crack, then everything else is going to kind of crumble beneath it, right over it. So then I have to stay strong. I have to stay positive, because if you start to dwell into your own, mishaps or whatever's happening, then you're just going to sink. And sulk and sink is the same thing. So I'm not sulking on it, because I don't want to really like keep thinking about it. I just want to keep thinking, how can I fix it to make it better? How can I fix it to make it better? This is what it's going to look like. I've already did the vision and the design. I'm like, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for burning the old building down, because it's going to give me a chance to do new, because I was so attached to that building. And, you know, we bought other buildings. We did all kinds of stuff. We always moved, but we never wanted to ever leave that location, even though we were busting out the seams. You know, I look at this person like, you know what, you did me a favor. Thank you. You know, I'm not going to take it. Yeah. I'm not going to take it as
perspective.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just going to keep going with it.
Right.
And that's what you have to do. You know, you were in the military, so you never knew really what you were really facing on a daily basis, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So you got to look at it like that. It's in that mindset to where, you know, you just take whatever comes. You know, you're like the little galaxy. You're in a galaxy game, and it's like you just got to keep dodging them. You know, you do.
Like you don't know what you're gonna wake up to. Like
yeah, you don't know what you're gonna wake up to. You're just gonna kind of
it.
maneuver it and just make the best of yourself. Because if you sulk, you're never going to get to the next level, you know.
If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So your perspective. So something horrible that seems like happened, but if you look at it in a light of like, this could be a blessing, that blessing is going to come, my friend.
Yep, I know. So Orion came on the perfect day, Mr. Inspiration.
Yes, he is. He's like
Mr. Inspiration. Yeah, he came on the perfect day. I had. You don't wake up and know that, oh my God, they're going to burn my whole place down. You know, oh my God, I got to reroute everybody. And, you know, the beautiful thing about it is that, you know, as a mom, when your kids grow up, everybody kind of goes their own way. We were talking about that the other day. And it's so funny that my kids just kind of just all piled right back in and said, Mom, we got this. You know, and I was like, okay, you know, okay, we got this. So it just kind of brings back the unity a little bit. So it's okay. I mean, things happen for reasons, you know, and I'm not attached to the materialistic part of anything. It's what it's going to bring in the future, you know, and I can see big things. I'm a big visionary. You know, I'll make sure to see big things. But let's get back to Mr. Orion.
That's an awesome perspective, though, for sure. Like if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So it's like, is it half empty or is it half full? So that perspective is a really beautiful thing that you have been blessed with, Miss Christina.
Thank you. I try to keep it like that, even when the worst things come. Yeah. But tell me this. So you went into real estate. What did you do before real estate, before the military? What opted you to the military?
Yeah, so the traditional route of my family was go to college. Like I'm actually, a lot of people say like I was the first one to graduate from college in my family. I'm the only one in my family that didn't graduate from college. So I was like kind of honoring growing up, you know, not really good at school or whatnot. So it was like either go to school, which I tried out. It took me 6 years to get an associate's degree, so that wasn't working out for me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the military. So I was always kind of like about that life, like working out, you know, getting up early, like doing a little like testosterone male stuff. Right. So I joined the military, but when I got into it, I was like, this is not the route for me. So I did 4 years. When I got out of the military, got the sales job at an insurance company. And that really opened my eyes up because there was this powerful woman too. Both of you are powerful women, by the way.
Thank you.
Both of you
are
thank you. For sure.
Thank
you. Hustlers, like, let's go get it. Yes. Like, you guys motivate me to get more. But it was a powerful, her name was Sabrina Lloyd in Chicago. And she had a big insurance agency, but she was about that life where she was just like motivating. And every Thursday they would have a team meeting where everybody would wear black. And there's about 80, 100 people in their agency. Everybody wear black. And then they would have the meetings where like they would tell everybody how much they made, like the managers, how much they made that week. Like this guy made 7,000, this guy made 8,000, this guy made 12,000. Everybody was going crazy, like clapping. And this is my first meeting when I'm walking in there. I'm like, this is what sales is about. This is amazing. And then you had the nice cars out in front, everything like that. So that kind of gave me an insight about like what sales could be, like being a part of that kind of atmosphere really excited me. But then I started learning that sales is a skill set, my friends. It's a skill set. It's just not something that you do. It's like something that you do, but you keep learning and growing from, and it's a skill set. There's a way to close people. There's a way to communicate to people. There's a way to ask questions. So, and there's a lot of good communication techniques that can help disable the client to open up to you and find out what's really going on with the situation. So it's a skill set. You got to learn, and grow. So when I worked for Sabrina at that Lloyd Agencies, an insurance company, it really opened my eyes that sales was a skill set. And then I needed mentorship. And that's when I started seeking out for help. And I Googled how to build confidence in sales. And that's a Grant Cardone video popped up. Wow. I just started saturating myself with his content, got to work for the guy. And I wouldn't say the rest is history, because after working for him, that's when my entrepreneurship journey started.
Right.
It was just like all these different ideas I was trying to do. Like I had a credit repair business, I had a painting business, I had like I had a curb painting business. I painted curbs, my friends.
Curves.
You ever see the curb?
Yeah.
Hey, I probably was the one that went and then took that paint out that curve.
No, because she hits curves.
I hit every curve.
She hits
man.
every.
And trash cans.
I was just trying to do something to make it.
Yeah.
I got good at it. I started making the designs, like the Texas A&M signs and
Oh,
like all these.
okay.
all those guys, you know,
Yeah.
I go tour.
Andrea still took the A.
Yeah, it was just MN.
Yeah.
Man.
That's nice. So what techniques you say you learned that you are now like implementing
Sure.
in your sales technique?
Yeah, communication techniques for sure. It's just like human psychology, human nature. You're dealing with people. So one is called mismatching. Mismatching when you're taking something into the future to find out what's really going on right now. So you can take something to an extreme to find out what they're really thinking right now, what's in their mind. So an example would be like, let's say you're wholesaling real estate, and then you ask them, hey, sir, is this your primary property? Is it rented out or is it vacant? Let's say he says it's rented out. So you could throw a mismatch in there by like, okay, sir, so you're okay with being a landlord and dealing with tenants for the next 5 years? So by throwing it like that and positioning that statement like that, you're taking him into the future. Like, do I really want to be a landlord for the next 5 years and dealing with tenants? Because if he doesn't like being a landlord and dealing with tenants for the next or dealing with tenants at all, he's going to tell you, no, I'm done. If you mismatch him in the tenant situation, when you're asking about the tenant situation, if it's rented out, a lot of the times they'll be like, no, I'm done being a landlord. I'm done. I'm over this. Now you have some motivation of what's really going on. And now you can use that motivation to forward the sale. So mismatching, taking something into the future to find out what's going on right now. Or I use it all the time. If they tell me it's vacant, I'm like, have you ever thought about, just fixing up the property, putting some money into it, and then just putting it on the market? You'll make more money doing that, sir. Have you ever thought about just doing that? No, I don't have any time to do that or energy. I just want to sell the property right now as is. Boom. Now you have some motivation. Instead of just saying like, why are you looking to sell, sir? That's kind of offensive. It goes back to when we were children and we did something wrong and our parents were like, why did you do that? And now we had shame in our, and then, because we kind of shy away from that why question. So if you can position your questions sometimes in the future and make suggestions of what they could do, you're going to find out and what they're really thinking right now. Right. So that's called mismatching. You can also use reluctance. Reluctance is when you throw something away, it usually tends to come back. Like women do this all the time to guys. They play hard to get, right? It makes the guy want them a little more. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I hear. But reluctance, when you throw something away, when mama takes away the cookies, you want to make the cookies even more. I remember when I was a young kid and I got grounded for whatever reason. I was ornery, and my mom said I couldn't go to this party. It was down the road. That made me want to go to the party so much more, where I got all the belts in my house. I connected the belts, tied them around this bedpost, and I literally lured myself down from the second story just so I could sneak out of the house to go to the party. Mama took away the party, made me want to go to the party more. So you can use this in your sales when you're talking to sellers. You could be like, hey, sir, we're a real estate investment company. We don't buy every property we come across. What can you tell me about the property? Hey, sir, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we can buy the house, sir. I'm not sure we can buy the house. I mean, it does meet our criteria of purchasing, but what can you tell me about it? Right. So you're kind of like throwing it away. Like, hey, sir, no big deal if we can't do this right now, but like, what can you tell me about the property? Like you're telling him why he should sell it to you. Like throw it away, let it come back. I call it a blood
up on them. You know what? I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. I mean, in my eyes, the first rule of negotiation is being okay from walking away from the deal. So you got to have that, like, kind of have that stand still. Whereas in like, you know what, if it's not going to work out, no big deal. I call it all the time because my guys in the office or anybody that reaches out to try to learn, I call it blood-sucking leech, where people just try to leech on the deals. They'll do everything. They'll take things out of the contract. They'll change the terms up just to get the deal, just to like get the seller okay with signing it. They're just like throwing it away. Or if you're running comps and it's a 3-2, but then you're like, well, you can convert the garage into a bedroom, so now it's a 4-2. Well, it's not a 4-2 right now, my friend. It's a 3-2. So I call it a blood, right? So you're trying to
make a deal when there ain't no
when
deal.
there's no deal. I call it a blood-sucking leech. You got to be.
But look at that tree that it has. It's the only house with that tree.
Right. That's not helping your cause, my friend. You got to be okay with walking away from the deal too. So that's part of reluctance. Labeling. That's another communication technique. I learned that from Chris Voss. He's a expert FBI negotiator. Labeling. So repeating the last word or last three words that somebody says. You're just repeating the words that they're saying. You're getting in agreement with them. You're allowing them to know that you're listening to them and they're being heard. And then after you label somebody for like 3 rounds, you want to summarize everything they just said by saying like, it seems like, Okay, if he was like, okay, well, I woke up in the morning, I ate breakfast, and then I took a shower. So I would say, you took a shower? He says, yeah, I took a shower, and then I got dressed and I went to work. Then I would say, you went to work? Yeah, I went to work. Then I got into traffic, and then I was a little late, like 15 minutes. It seems like you woke up in the morning, you had a breakfast, took a shower, then you were late to work. I was just using the same words he just said. I labeled him. I got massive agreement during this process, and then I summarized everything he said or she said, and now I'm just leading them down this line. I call it to the close, where you're just getting an agreement. You always want to get an agreement with your customers, for sure. Yeah, so labeling, reluctance, mismatching, conditioning. Conditioning is another communication technique where you're setting proper expectations for what's to come. So, like you would lead them, or it's called future pacing or conditioning. So you're pacing them to the close. So you would say things like, okay, sir, well, we're going to use a title company, so everybody's protected. They got to use a title search. That usually takes about 5 or 7 business days. And as long as the title's clear, sir, we'll close on the property. Make sense, sir? So like just throwing that in there in the middle of your conversation, you're guiding him of what's to come. Okay, sir, we'll need access to the property. So we only ask for a 14-day inspection period. We'll probably only have to access the property 2 or 3 times during those 14 days. Is that okay with you? So you're setting an expectation that there's going to be an inspection period. You're setting an expectation that they got to do a title search. You're setting an expectation of you needing pictures. Hey, sir, we'll need some pictures for to really speed up the process on our end. We just asked that we get about 30 pictures of the front and the inside. Can you do that for us? You're setting an expectation. Now you need pictures. And also when you get people to do things for you, law of commitment. Now you're getting them to commit to little things. And at the end, they're going to commit to something bigger if you get them to do little things over time. So a lot of communication techniques. And really, these are very powerful. You just got to be ethical when you use them. But at the end of the night, if you have a good soul, as you should when you're talking to sellers, and you have an attitude of service, because that's what you should be having, an attitude of service. These are just techniques to disarm the customer so you can really pull out what's really going on in their situation, so you can find out a solution to present it to them and ultimately close them. And if you're closing the deal correctly, everybody's winning in the transaction. If you're wholesaling a property, my friend, you're winning on the deal, the seller's winning on the deal, and then the buyer's winning on the deal. It's a win-win-win situation for everybody. That's how it should be.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, those are a lot of the steps that we do in our script is, kind of let them know what to expect. A lot of people have never sold a house before. So telling them like, okay, we do the same. We work with the title company. The transaction takes about 3 weeks or so, but they're like, okay, I know what's coming. So everything you just mentioned, we do in our own ways, but I agree with everything.
Yeah.
And this, my friend, is why he is the wolf of real estate.
The wolf, yes.
This is why he is the wolf of real estate. Have you ever considered of giving some type of training like that with all those things in it? I mean, just in general,
or like salespeople.
Yeah, just salespeople in general, any business, anything. I think that you have so much, so many maneuvers to actually, or just the training in general to teach people what they can and cannot say.
Right.
And it's not the cannot, it's not the cannot, it's the fact that you're saying how, they can say it better, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this stuff is universal, so you can apply in any industry you want in. And then also it's just like in your personal life, like let's say that you have a spouse and she wants the Italian restaurant tonight, but you want to go to the Chinese restaurant tonight. So you could be like, well, hey, I understand that you want to go to the Italian restaurant tonight, but this new Chinese restaurant just opened up. If we can go there tonight, I promise I'll take you to the Italian restaurant next week. Is that okay, ma'am? Or your spouse?
The ma'am.
They're like, all right, I know you're role playing right now.
You're like a little persuasion, you know what I mean? Like every day you're talking to people, you're communicating, you're always getting your point across. So no matter what you think, like you're always dealing with people. So you are in sales in a way. Like sales is a way of life. You're talking to people. If you're dealing with people, my friend, you're in sales.
Right.
I mean, no matter what connotation you have with the word sales, you're always dealing with people. You're in the people business. So you got to learn how to communicate more effectively.
I like that. We need to have a meetup like that with Orion. Something about communication. I mean, it goes with any business. You know how many businesses that people do not know how to talk? I mean, they're like, my business, I have my what do you say it? My committed customers or my loyal customers, but you're not scaling or you're not growing, and we use the word scale because we go in a variation and a variety of everything, and some people are just used to what they have. And so you're not scaling, you're not growing, you're not doing anything else but just staying with who is loyal to you. But how about if you could get out there and scale your business because you were trained properly to be able to be a little bit more persuasive and use all those little, those numbers of techniques that he put out, so y'all need to push rewind and watch this and make sure that y'all can pick up on some of that. I think that would be a really a great tool you could offer people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make him into something that he's like, what, Christina?
I mean, all my in-house guys, I have an overseas team, but my in-house people, I have like 8 of them, and they're all on the phones all day, just banging calls all day. But we do training every day, and then every day it's something new that they're learning and applying in their sales calls. We listen to their recordings, see how they could like differentiate from what they said from this, what they should have said or what they didn't say. Like, just get better every day.
Do you do that with them, or do you have someone that's listening to the calls and then like kind of going, or do you take the time to go? Because that's where I have a hard time.
I have one of my assistants, Joy. She's been with me for like 4 years. She listens to mostly all the calls, cold callers calls, and the in-house calls. But if I'm just doing a one-on-one with them, I'll listen to the call with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And see, and I think that's important when you find somebody to train you or to even talk to. Make sure that it's somebody who is trainable. Not trainable, who can train. There's people that aren't, teachable, and there's people who aren't trainers. And if you put those two, they're not coachable. So if you're not in a coach mentality and you don't want to really coach nor train, then you're not the person. Because a lot of people just do it for the money, and some people really do it for the deliverance. And I think you're a deliverance kind of guy.
For sure. Money's the byproduct of the services you provide. And always put people over profits, my friends.
Right.
Well, too, I feel like a lot of people, like, they want you to train them, but then it's like, okay, but do it for them. Then it's like, no, you're training to, like, you got to put in the work. You got to get in the phone calls and do it, So they think it's easy until they realize what it takes. And they're like, yeah, I don't like this, because it goes back to the resistance. They're like, I don't know if I want to make all these phone calls. Oh, yeah. So it's like, you wasted all this time, and you're training in them. They're like, I got what it takes, and I'm a salesperson, and I'll do this. But then whenever they start to see that, they're like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this.
That's true.
So
it's like different levels of learning. So when you're training somebody and then they get that knowledge in the very beginning, they're at the very basic level of that new thing that they're just learning. So the confidence level is not there. The certainty is not there. The clarity, the conviction is not there yet. So there's going to be resistance. Oh, am I doing it right? I don't sound right. I didn't sound as good as him. All these things are going through their mind. Or I'm trying to talk a little less or a little lighter because I don't want to let the other person next to me hear what I'm saying, because I don't know if I'm saying it right. Like, all these things. The only reason I know that because I went through it. Right?
I've been through that. I'm like,
hey, you say that?
Hey, sir. Hey, sir.
Seriously. They hang up on you and you're still on the phone. Oh, yeah.
So repetition is the mother of all learning. So you got to keep doing things over and over and over again. And once you keep doing it, you'll break through that little veil of resistance, and then you'll get more confidence at it. Because when I first started, when I worked at Grant's office, I was like with a bunch of sharks in there. They come there with their nice suits and their cars, making $60,000, $80,000 a month as salespeople, right? Selling sales training. And I had no sales skills at all. I just had a desire. And that's something you can't teach, desire.
Right.
You can't teach the people.
I agree with you
right?
on that.
Right. So I had the desire. I think that's the only reason they gave me an opportunity, because I had the desire, but I didn't have the skill set yet. But they're like, he's teachable, so let's see how he does. But when I got in there, my hands were sweating. My hands sweated so much. I used to wear a baseball glove because I'm not even kidding. This is a real story. I wear a baseball glove. My hands would sweat so much, and it was hand dial all day. But I would remember I would just be so quiet in the back room, just like, hey, sir, Grant told us to reach out about a sales training program that we wanted to get you free access to. And it was just kind of being quiet about it because I wasn't confident. But after showing up, that's what he's saying. Show up every day. Show up. Once you keep showing up, you're going to break through that little resistance. Then you're going to be like a little beast, like a hungry dog on the back of the meat truck you haven't eaten in 2 weeks. You're going to be like hungry for it. You know what I mean? You have more confidence. It gives you more confidence. You have more clarity where you're going, more conviction behind it, more certainty of what you're saying. And it just like comes off. That synergy comes off to the customer. I mean, how many times anybody listening to, how many times somebody called you like a salesperson and it just like the vibe was off in the very beginning. It just turned you off. You hit click, right? You're not interested. You get that reactionary response from a customer. I'm not interested. But if you come off in like an enthusiastic, positive, like a bottled up enthusiasm, you're positive, right? And you got your script down, you're prepared. You know the words that are coming out of your mouth. It's going to come off a little more elegantly, and they're going to be more receptive to those words, right? So, yes, Mike.
And that is what I brought to this table.
Right.
Yeah. You know, it's really, I mean, that's why I say when I say you spit fire, you spit fire. So you're gonna have a training, right, in El Paso
Yeah, November.
in November.
Yeah.
When are you gonna come here? Why you being so shady? You need to come to Houston.
We're gonna.
Why in where are you having?
I'm partnered with a Patriot Title, Miss Texas Title Queen Rachel Luna. Shout out to Miss Luna.
There you go. Shout out Rachel.
So from her ideas, it was like El Paso is kind of like behind compared to the fast action of Houston. So they're just like learning wholesale back there. So I'm just gonna do a class out there and just give them everything. Give. You know, just kind of build an awareness around that I am an authority figure in this space. You know, when you guys came to my office the other day, like, Orion, why are you ever out? Like, you're right. I need to get more out there. I just like keep to myself sometimes. I'm like that little lone star in the sky. Sometimes when you see it at night, it's just one star in the sky. I feel like that sometimes where, you know, I can get better at that. Like going out and meeting more people and being a part of these groups. That's something I need to do.
Yeah. I think you have been a hidden gem, honestly. And I think a lot of people can see it on here. You know, you are a hidden gem and you do need to get out. You know, you have so much to offer. And I remember when, you know, we were, you know, all at that one office over in the Fuse building, you know, I would watch your podcast with Jesus and I was like, man, this guy has so much energy, you know, and some people just need some of that energy poured into them.
Well, half the time, because Jesus always had tequila in his office.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Why you don't be bringing tequila?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, but I really think you should. I think Andrea and I should put something with you so you can come and do something.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
That'd be great.
If y'all would like to get into that.
How to start, like, you know, I feel like that's one of the, when people get started in wholesaling, they don't know how to talk to the seller.
Yeah.
They go based off the script. Yeah, can you tell me repairs and all of that? Like, I mean, they get that same phone call every day. Yeah. So it has to be different, you know, and I think that'll be great.
Sure.
Value for people that are getting started.
Right.
It's something that that I've known that helps is having a visual of what you're doing, like a visual. So I have a visual of the communication you're having with the seller. So it's just like a straight line. You got to open it and close, and then things you need to talk about. And then I call them in betweens, like, or future pacing somebody. So it's like a visual. If anybody in here wants it, just DM me. I'll send it over to you. But you got to have like some kind of structure to your flow.
To me.
Some structure. Like I always say this, it's the same call every call. You're just dealing with different personalities. You're just dealing with different personalities, the same phone call. So you got to open, you got to close, and then in between you got your qualifying or discovery stage, you got your negotiation, and then you just got to learn these different subjects per se within your call. And then a lot has to do with your tonality, like your enthusiasm. It's like if I said Sally went to the market, I could say Sally went to the market, or I could say Sally went to the market. Like those are same words but different meanings. So if you go in there Sally, like Sally, she really went to the market. Or Sally, went to the market. Right? Same words but different meaning. So you go in a call with that mundane mentality. Hey sir, this is Orion ATS Capital. You know, it's like you got to match their tone too. So if you're talking to Grandma Sue, like, yeah, you don't want to be like, hey Sally, this is Orion ATS Capital.
She had a heart attack. Right? Grandma done had a heart attack. Shit.
I know I've had like when I've talked to like grannies, like, Andrea, slow down a little bit.
Yeah, slow down. You gotta slow it down a little bit sometimes, for sure.
I like that. You just said ATS. You mentioned ATS, so you do have ATS Capital because that's when when we first originally met you. We met you through ATS Capital. Tell us about ATS.
Okay, so ATS, the word or the letters or the acronym ATS has some meaning in my heart because it's where I come from. So ATS stands for against the spread. And look, everybody has a past, and part of my past was a little dark. There was a time in my life when you know what, my friends? I was addicted to sports gambling. And the way you make money in sports gambling is against the spread, ATS. You don't bet on the team who wins, you bet against the number, right? So like 3 years of my life was dark, whereas in like I was literally addicted to gambling where I lost all my money betting on sports and even some of my parents' money. So when I broke that addiction and I started finding God, to be honest, and the light shining upon me and like the good inside of me that needs to come out, and started going that route, personal development. When I started this business, I was like, I lost all my money against the spread, ATS. I want to make all my money back against the spread. So that's where ATS stands for.
Nice. ATS against the spread.
Because you get a house for 180, you sell it for 240, you made the spread. So every day we're against the spread. And I tell my guys that all the time, that's the meaning of this company is ATS. So we got to hold gross in these deals, my friends. Like these $5,000-$10,000 deals are okay, but let's do the six-figure deals, the $60,000 deals, and they're there. So we got to stand ground to our name and win against the spread every day, my friends.
Wow, I
Nice.
really
I
like
like that.
that. I really like that. Yeah. So you're on systems, right?
We are, yep.
Mhm.
Systems like we got Podio.
Mhm.
I spent,
That
geez,
is so good.
Yeah.
time and thousands of dollars on Podio just to set up how we want, but everything's worked out through Podio. So we got a structure right there. Then CRM. Then we
You
got
have a nice office.
nice office. Yeah, it's in
Maybe
Montrose.
we could go look at it.
Yeah, it's really nice. He's got a really nice office. I'm not a black and red girl, but he just totally made me love black and red and white. I was like, what the hell? Like the way you decorated it, it was like, oh my god, it looked really cool. It doesn't look like your typical real estate office.
What does it
Did
look
it?
like?
It looked a little oriental,
It looks like what?
a little oriental colors.
I'm Oriental.
I know, that's why it came out.
like Red Dragon.
There you go. Yeah, the red dragon.
There you go.
There you go.
Has a lot
There
of
you
plants.
go.
Funny.
Yeah.
Oriental. It's funny.
There you go. Now I know.
Okay.
But-
And you have a good flow in your team, and the way I saw them all there just working and flowing. I mean, we were there, interrupted the day, and then we're like, they're just flowing, and that's good when you have your system in place, and I can tell you're a good trainer.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows what they got to do. You don't have to be there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, he has a whole thing going
Tell me
right now, and
more.
he's sitting here with us, And I'm sure when he gets back, he knows that they did what they were instructed to do. Not really instructed because they follow a flow, right?
Yeah,
Process.
they're definitely in a process.
In a
right.
process. There you go.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
what do you like about wholesaling? Do you do real estate in all areas, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do all real estate in a way. Not building or development yet, but
Mhm.
I think that's in the horizon. But wholesaling was attractive, no cash, no credit, my friends.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, it's like anybody can just start with little or no money. It's just
Mhm.
really your desire, passion of doing something, and then just having some know-how to do it as well. So YouTube video, that's how I learned at YouTube.
Mhm.
Like one day I was just down in the dumps, and then a YouTube video popped up that says, "Flip a house with no cash, no credit." I was like, "Let's go."
They got me.
Let's go. Right? I got my contract it's 3 days in of cold calling. I got my first contract, and then
Is this after Grant Cardone?
so after Grant, it was like 2 years or 3 years of other ideas that just didn't stick. But through that process, it did stick because I learned from it. They weren't failures, just experiences, and it leveled me up in a way. Being on my own, because when you're working for another company or you have relying on other people almost sometimes, or it's easier to like get help from other people. When you're doing it on your own, it's kind of like, okay, it's just me against myself, really.
Right.
And then who am I going to ask? So that's like the desire you need to seek out for mentorships to get that help. But ultimately, it's you waking up every day. Like, are you going to set your clock at 7 a.m. or whatever time you start the day? Or are you going to sleep in? Are you actually going to make these phone calls because at home by yourself when you have so many distractions going on? Do you have the discipline to do that? Like, nobody's going to micromanage you when you're alone, or even macromanage you when you're alone. It's like you got to do it on your own, my friend. So you got to have some of that inner desire. And that's what I look for people when I hire them. It's they got something to prove. It's like they got that desire inside of them. They got something to prove. Like maybe they're the first one in their family that's going to change the whole dynamic of their family. Like I want that guy. Like some of these guys who are entitled, and I've been through, and like some of these, I'm not talking crap, but like some of these like River Oaks or Westview guys, congratulate.
No desire.
There's a lot of entitlement going on, which is fine. That's how they grew up, and not taking away from anybody. But like some of these people who maybe grew up on the rougher side of the neighborhood or the other side of the railroad tracks, that they got something to prove. Like these guys are the ones that I've noticed that are just like sticking to it, like following the plan, and like let's win together.
Right.
And you know what, Orion, you're totally right about that, because it's a desire. And last time when we were talking, Christina, you asked me like, hey, what is it that you want? And I was like, I can't really explain it. It's a desire inside that I have, like, that is just, I could settle. I'm at a good place right now, but I want more, right? Not more because of money, not more because of like, this is just a desire. I can't explain it. You have a desire inside and you just want to keep growing. How far can I go? How far can I take this? So I totally agree, because some people could have dreams, right? I want to do this. I want to do that. Everyone can have great dreams. But if they don't have that desire inside, then it's just a dream, because it takes a lot of action for you to get there. So in the mornings, if Like I get up at 4. There's times I'm up at 3 because I'm excited.
Right.
I'm excited to start working on whatever I'm working on, and then it's a desire, because it's not, just for a week or two, I'm just getting started. This is every day I wake up with that desire every day. Okay, this didn't work. Well, then let me try this. That didn't work. Well, then let me try that. So it's not, okay, I get excited. Okay, that didn't work. Well, I know that didn't work. Well, I'm excited to start this to see if that works, So,
Right.
But I totally agree, and that's why it's hard to find salespeople, because you got motivated people, and then you have people they have that desire,
Right. Motivation only takes you so long.
Right. Yeah. The first week or two, people are so motivated. They're like, hey, yeah, I want to make money, this, that. But then when they start to get all those no's, and then things start to get hard, and then things start to get hard at home or wherever they're at, they're like, oh, screw this. Because you need, and sales requires you to be in a place of abundance and a place of clarity, because you know what you're going after, and when people hear that from you, that confidence, that, well, she really knows what she's talking about, or you're dominating that phone call, it's that desire speaking, like I'm getting this damn deal one way or another. I'm gonna get it, so I'm gonna do whatever I have to do, like put everything else to the side. This is where I'm focused on, because this is my desire. So I totally agree with you on that.
For sure.
Desire, you have to have that desire.
Yeah.
Right.
Like motivation only takes you so long. Like sometimes you go work out, like you got an inner motivation, but then you also got like an outer motivation, meaning like you need music to work out. You need music to be motivated. But I want that guy inside the gym where he don't need any music. He just wants to go get it. Right. Like that inner desire, just like, this is what I'm doing. This is my goal. I'm getting it done regardless. I don't need any outer circumstances to motivate me to do it. This is my life, and I'm going to go get it.
Yeah. I mean, when we started in real estate, we didn't have a Podio CRM. I mean, we were just there with things, we didn't have it together. And I'm like, that's not going to stop me from getting to where I need to go. No, I don't have my Podio. No, I don't know my KPIs. No, but I'm getting deals. So, I mean, there was people that were so focused on getting their KPIs, getting their CRM. I'm like, man, I'm getting deals, So I'll figure about that later. But it's just take action, So, but it takes a lot of desire, for sure.
Commit and figure it all out later. Just commit to the deal, right? Just jump in, learn how to swim. You know what I mean? You're not going to get to the other side if you don't jump in.
No.
Learn to swim while you go.
And it's going to get a little rough in between from here to the end, but
for sure,
you survive.
But it's that inner desire that gets you to the other end.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Love that.
What have you seen that has changed in the market lately?
So I know there's a lot of things going on with the market and the recession and like that. I don't even watch the news, so I don't know anything that's going on. The only competition I have is myself and what I see in the mirror, and the competition is in my mind. I don't believe in like another wholesale company pops up, another investment company pops up. I could care less. There's an abundance out there, my friends. God's going to provide for all those that are in abundant mindset. So it's all up here. That's where it's up here, my friends. It's in your mindset. So what I've seen though in this industry is virtual, my friends. Going virtual with it. Like, I don't know the last time I've seen a house. I'm sure you're in the same situation, Andrea, but like a virtual sales agents. Like I have overseas virtual sales agents that I train every day, just like in-house, but they're closing deals just like the in-house guys. And it's an incentive for myself as a business owner, because the cost of labor in other countries and the commission structure that I set up with them compared to when one of my guys gets a deal 25% off of $40,000 deal. I'm paying this kid like $13,000, which is awesome. I love it. I love him. Like last week when my guy's 18 years old, straight out of high school, straight desire, Jacob in my office, dude, he made like 13.5 last month, 13,500 straight out of high school. Grew up on the other side of the railroad tracks. Gratitude off the wazoo, abundant mindset, like learning every day, just wants to learn and grow. He's going to be that one person in his family that changed the whole dynamic of his whole family. There's always one person in your family. I think you attract them in your life. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like,
that is,
it's the training. I can really say it's that, Orion. It's your training. It's your influence. Because you can there's only one Orion, but when somebody accepts to be like Orion and not like they're not like teachable, you're getting people that are teachable to be little mini Orions,
I love that.
Yeah, and you're not holding
mini
back.
Orions.
What a perfect world it'd be.
Yeah, a bunch of mini Orions.
I'd be like, Orion.
But one of the things is that what I see is you've built something so strong, like with this 18-year-old. And those are the best people to teach. They don't come with any habit, no responsibilities, no nothing. Best people to teach. But one of the things is that you as a trainer cannot feel like I can't tell her everything because if I do, they're going to run off with it. So when are you going to have your little clone of you, your mini Orion, if you're holding back on them?
No, yeah, that's true. And I everybody that comes through my office, I give them everything. And you know what? Those people have been there. They just ran off with everything. I just had 2 of them ran off with everything. And then they're reaching out to my VAs and asking to recruit them. My VAs have been with me for like 4 years. Like, come on, guy.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's them, because you're you and that's who they are. So
it's a scarcity mindset. And I used to have a scarcity mindset when I brought people in and have them sign NDAs. But now I don't even do that anymore. It's like if I believe in you to come on board and I trust you that enough to come on board, it's just like, what is the
paper gonna do?
Well, I'll tell you what when people do stuff like that, and this is all what I've ever said, and Andrea, I'll tell you, I stick to these words. When people ask me, hey, you don't talk to so and so anymore, I'm just like, no. And that's all they needed to know. And usually, and like I told Andrea, sometimes a no says a whole lot more, when you're just a good person and you're always giving. And if you gave that much and those people ran off with that, then everybody's already going to know.
Yeah, for
sure. Yeah, because who wouldn't want to be on your team? Come on.
I wish them well.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like there's a couple of them ran off and they gave me the like expectation. I've gone through it. Like in this business, like
you go through a lot of people.
You go through
people turn and burn. Like but some of them, they have family, they have kids, they sit down with, they talk to me like, hey man, this is what's going on in my life right now. I really feel like so thankful for you and gratitude. You really helped me out a lot. And I got my wings, I want to fly away. All for you, brother. I love you, dude.
Right,
Dude, do it for your family, man.
Right.
But then there's some other ones that are just like sneaky, like a little mouse sucking for cheese.
You want cheese?
Just gotta be careful with those guys. Sometimes they say the devil is a masquerade and an angel of light. So you never know sometimes.
You're right. So what can you tell us, Orion? What would you tell the people and all the viewers that are going into any business right now? Where to focus and what to if they're having troubles right now, because a lot of businesses are having troubles. There's a downfall in a lot of different type of businesses. Everything. What would you say?
I think if you grow, everything else will grow. If you change the things that are going to the inside, everything on the outside is going to conform to that. So personal development, my friends, like always invest in yourself. That's the best investment. So if it's in business, your business is downturning, invest in some books, invest in some mentorships, invest in like somebody who's already doing what you're doing at a higher stage. There's no reason to invent the wheel when the wheel is already being invented. So continue growing every day. And like having more confidence in yourself, more certainty, and you can do that through knowledge. But knowledge is only power if you use it, so it's only potential power. So use the knowledge that you're learning, and then you got to fight through that little resistance. So you got to have courage, some faith. So what do you believe in? What's the bigger picture? What's the vision you have in your mind? Like this is the end result, so think from the end result and go forward towards it. So growing, personal development, investing in yourself. And investing in people too, my friends. Investing in others, because money is a byproduct of the services you provide. So if you can have an attitude and a mindset of like service, I think God, Dios, whatever you believe in, is going to bless you more abundantly. So money is a byproduct of the services you provide. So have an active service.
Love it.
I totally agree to everything you say. I mean, and those, you have to. And that's the reason why I wake up at early, because I like to have my affirmations, clarity, have that
absolutely.
Time of quiet the mind and kind of like that guidance, like, hey, what do you want me to do today? But yes, I totally agree to everything, and it does, because it kind of opens up new doors. You have to just quiet your mind sometimes and let God speak to you and tell you where you need to go, rather than you're just all over the place and just trying to do things on your own. So
there's I consider myself a holy man. I know some scriptures, but in the book,
I can throw you some scriptures too.
in the book of Job, the 18th book of the Holy Bible, Job was a wealthy man, prosperous man, right? And then he had a fear, though. In Job 3:11, I think, or 3:18, it says, "The thing I feared the most came upon me, and the thing I dreaded is now here." So the thing he feared, even though in his outside circumstances everything was beautiful in Job's life, but he feared poverty. He feared this impoverished lifestyle, and the thing I feared came upon me, and the thing I dreaded is now here. So he attracted that into his life. The fear he attracted into his life. So we got to switch our mindset to what do we want in our life. See this stuff in our minds, my friend. You got an inner game and you got an outer game. Your inner game is way more important than your outer game. Once you got your inner game correct, the outer game is going to conform. So your inner game is your thoughts, your words, and your feelings. So think of these things, feel these things, like visualize how it should be, like act as if, be, do, have, be the person, do the things that person did and will do, and then you can have those things. So there's always a time delay, or there's always a gentrification period. Like when you plant a seed, it's not going to sprout. It takes time to grow and nourish, and then next thing you know, you plant a seed. It's going to grow that plant or whatever you're planting. So the seeds that you're planting in your mind, what are you watching? Are you watching the news? Are you getting saturated with negativity? Or what are you putting into your mind? Are you listening to rap music every single day? This is fine. Get you a little motivated and get you in that ghetto lifestyle type, like let's go motivate. But if you keep listening to that over and over again, I'm like, is that really positive messages that you want to be filling with your mind? And so it's surrounding yourself with people and honestly weeding out the people who shouldn't be in your life. That's one of the prayers I ask. Thank you, God, for weeding out the people that are not supposed to be in my life.
Hey, that's why I know. Hey, now you're just by yourself.
That's exactly right.
Oh my God.
That's true. I didn't think about it. That's true. The people you hang around with, as gurus always say, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with. So think about the people you're hanging around with. Are they people you're just going out and drinking with? Or are they people you really see yourself as a friendship that got your back, loyalty?
Right.
My mom would always tell me family's always got your back. So that's what I kind of hold on to, is my foundation is my family. And I know they're going to fill my mind with positive stuff, and I always feel good around them. So like those are the people I want to be around with. Or my dogs, Bonnie and Clyde. They make me happy. You know what I mean?
Bonnie and Clyde?
Yeah, Bonnie. They give me unconditional love. So you got to fill your mind with these good things, right? And it's hard to do sometimes when you have negative programming, right? It says, do not be renewed by the transfer. So don't conform to the patterns of the world, but be renewed by the transferring of your mind. It's a conformity of the world. Like, what is the world out there? 9 to 5, go to school, do this. Like, there's a lot of fear in the world. Like, this is happening in this country. It's going to happen to us. Gas prices are going up. The market's crashing. All this stuff is like fear-based.
Yeah.
And it's putting that stuff in your mind. You're putting that stuff in your mind. So do not conform to the patterns of the world. Be renewed by the transforming of your mind. So it's your thoughts, my friends. Your thoughts have a lot to do with where you're at right now, if not everything where you're at right now.
Right.
Yep.
And this is Orion, the wolf. He didn't come in sheep's clothing.
Orion.
Yeah.
I'll be the background, whenever like this Orion, I'm like, oh.
No, but I always admire, and this is the stuff that Orion always would put out there, all that positivity. And when you see those things, and you need to listen to those things. When I see his hands moving, I know he's fixing to put it out there and pop right in there. I see it, and you can feel that. And I hope you guys can feel that, coming out, from over this podcast, because I needed something positive in my life today. And I know a lot of people needed it too. And you need to know that there are people out there that are willing to, give off that energy. Follow those things. You can only put on so much makeup in the world. You can only listen to so many rap songs before you just get flooded with the wrong things in your head. You need to listen to powerful, inspiring things, because that's where we are right now. Life is changing so much, and you have to be inspired and you have to be powerful. And the only thing that's going to bring that power is feeding it, and not draining it with the wrong stuff,
Yeah, I mean, every day you wake up, you have a decision to either feed your fears or feed your faith. So one of the two are going to get fed that day.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, Andrea's really, really, really solid on meditation and stuff. She really is.
Well, yeah, you kind of have to with all the things I juggle. So it's like you got to have clarity. You have to have a straight mind, and because things are gonna, come the way. You got to be able to tackle them.
Yeah.
I eat problems for breakfast, and I'm okay with it.
You're crazy. So what would you say is Orion's first thing that he does in the morning?
Gratitude. I would say thank you. So I'm like, thank you for this day, or thank you for the heartbeat or the breath that I'm breathing right now. Gratitude for sure. And if you can get in a state of gratitude, this is powerful, my friend. I don't know what y'all believe in, but at the end of the night, it's just like there's different energies that we have. There's like gratitude, you get like, fear, like anxiety, all this different stuff. But like gratitude is just like a high vibration frequency where it's just like you're thankful, right? So if you can be gratitude is very powerful. working out, getting your body moving, like getting that energy going, that the blood flowing, right? Even if it's just a simple walk. I do breathing technique, so I do deep breathing. This is helped me.
I do that. I need to do that.
This helped me a lot for sure. It'll still your mind as well, and I feel like it's released a lot of like anger out of me, or like resentment out of me, or even jealousy or envy. I admit I'm not perfect, so it's like
he said it. He said it.
like it releases stuff. But I think everybody should have some kind of routine or something that they do in the morning. For sure. Like I've always noticed when you wake up earlier, though, it's so quiet. Then when it gets like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, when everybody starts waking up, you kind of feel that energy from other people that it's like alive and like everybody's aware, and you start different thoughts are permeating your mind, your phone's ringing and the social media's going off and all this stuff. But when you wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning just by yourself, it's just so quiet. You know what I mean? It's when it's a good time for you.
Right.
And you should be selfish with you too. Like say no to people, my friends. Saying no to somebody is very powerful. Like just because they want to do it and you don't want to do it, but you say yes to do it, you're going away from your boundaries and your standards. You got to say no to people. This is powerful. Maybe that's why I'm lonely too.
Hey, follow me for more tips.
It's okay. It's okay, all right.
Got to be a yes guy, man.
So he's single, I assume. Orion. You're crazy. No, but the universe, I believe in the universe, and I believe that, he brings people into your life and the right person's coming, Orion. But I say that because when I first met Orion, he gave me this apple. He was passing out apples, and it was the good apple. It wasn't the bad apple. It was the good apple. And he gave me this apple, and it had his ATS, and so that was his thing. No, I think it was around October, right? It was around Halloween. It was right around this time. So he had these little candy apples and he was passing them out. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. And I had this gold pen. And, I love to carry gold pens. So I had this gold pen and I gave him a pen and he was like, oh, a pen. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I took off with my apple. He took off with the pen. But the funny thing is I have another gold pen just like that pen. And yesterday I was writing with that pen and it ran out of ink. And so today Orion brought me, because we were talking the other day and we are talking about different crystals and stuff, and so he brought me this clarity pen. So it's different because the world has, the universe has a way of working itself and things come back around, and you came back around at a very at a time when I needed all that positive and clarity and stuff. And I say thank you, because you've been so, sharing all your information, and, the way you your deliverance. That's been my word for Orion, is his deliverance. It's just so good. You've been a hidden gem. And I think you should go out there and really, share your energy. You don't have stories, you have an energy. And the one thing I can't stand is to go somewhere and everybody wants to share a damn story. I want that energy. I'm paid to be here front row because I want what you got, so like pour that on me. So, and
like pour that on me.
Pour that on me.
Hug me. Yeah. Give me that energy. Poor Ryan's like,
no, Christina, no.
If you guys want, we can step out. No,
no.
That is hilarious.
No, I just think he's such a positive person. I think you really do need to share that. I think that has been your point of service. I mean, we're all here for a service and to do something, but like you said, you have to be ready for that type of journey,
right?
And I think you are. You should be out there, and that's why I wanted to bring you on here.
Right.
I love that. Thank you.
No, it's great. It was great having you here.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. Good stuff.
So, you have anything you want to say before we go?
People are lessons or blessings. People that come in your life and they stay in your life, they're blessings. The people that leave, they're just lessons. And then perspective, just like how you're going through that downturn right now, something that seemed negative, but if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So it's your perspective about life too. Yeah. So these things that are happening that don't seem good, that's just a perspective of that thing. So change the way you're looking at that thing, and the things you look at will change, my friend. And have a positive mental attitude. Be optimistic. Have a can-do attitude. Know that you can, you will, and you must. Learn, grow. Seek out for help. There's no bad questions. There's questions that you're seeking. Get the answers to them, and then apply those answers, that knowledge that you're seeking, and then just grow any way you can. Whatever industry you're in, my friend, just go all in on it. Commit and figure it all later. You got to commit to the deal. Commit to learning. Commit right now. Yeah,
Just can't get it all in.
we can pray if you like to, my friends.
Let's pray.
Let's pray. Let's
Seriously?
do it.
Seriously, go,
Okay.
Orion. I need it.
All right. God, thank you so much for this beautiful day and this beautiful podcast and all the people that are in this room that are making this happen right now and every viewer right now. I ask that you bless them with beautiful abundance, bless them with a positive mindset, bless them with healthy relationships, bless them in all that they have. And whatever they're seeking, God, that's good. Weed out the people that are not supposed to be in their life and help the people that are in their lives and help them in all the way that they can so they can be a better servant to you, God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I
love
totally
receive
felt
it.
that. Yeah. Totally felt that. Thank you.
Love that.
Oh,
All right.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much
you
for
so
always
much.
tuning in. Orion, where can they find you? Like on Instagram, where would you prefer if they want to, follow you and watch you and a lot of your positive messages?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go on Instagram. It's Orion Grove. It's Orion Grove. Twitter, it's Orion Grove. TikTok, it's Orion Grove. And then Facebook, Orion Grove.
All right, guys. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care,
Have
my
a good
friends.
one.